right, so as the other two Scout Masters were discussing, I want to talk a little bit more about what Scouting does for the young people of our community. So over here on this board, we've got all of the ranks. So this one is a Boy Scout. This patch is what they wear when they come brand new into the troop. We do have two that are still at this stage that are working on their tenderfoot. Then we've got second class, first class, Star, Life, and Eagle. Once you get to Eagle, your name stays on here indefinitely. So all of these Eagles, right, and it goes back to about 1980, Randy Ellis, who was still in the community, Paul's Cattle, Mike Murphy. I'm not going to go through all of them, I'm going to go through a few. Mike Murphy, they own the hardware store. We got several Jay Denny's here. So Charlotte and Johnny Denny had 4 boys. All 4 were Eagle Scouts. We've got Stephen Goddard, who was my son. I wasn't the Scoutmaster when he earned this. Obviously, Zach Simpson here today, who's still involved with the troop. We got Cole and Mark Anderson. And then we've got Chris Bryant, who teaches in Lexington. We've got Patrick Kluser here today, which we don't see very often. And Pat does a lot of things for the youth out west. And where are you at right now? What state are you in?
Just in California.
Just in California. Okay. We've got Brandon Brown, who works for EMS. And used to be in Garrett County, now he's doing some things over in Madison County. Josh Pierce, who's in the Air Force in Alaska. We've got Nick Beasley, who is a guard for the facility over in Danville, and Michael Gruen. That was the last Eagle Scout in this troop. Michael left us in about, say, 2008. He made Eagle Scout in 2007. So that was the last time we had an Eagle Scout in this troop. And so, as some of the guys talked about what it takes to be an Eagle Scout, I want to talk about that a little bit more in depth. So in order to earn the rank of Eagle Scout, you've got to earn, right now, 22 merit badges. And you've got to pass through all of those ranks. So when you're a tenderfoot, typically, you're learning to patch up your feet after long hikes. That's why they call it tenderfoot. So in that stage of scouting, you've got to understand basic safety, hiking, cooking, the oath, law, and the motto. You've got to understand what it means to be fit, poisonous plants and animals, and some first aid. Right? So once you graduate to the next level, second class, you've got to understand basic math and compass, leave no trace. You've got to understand basic tools in fire building, how to work a stove, how to cook, flag ceremonies, service to others. You've got to understand animals, CPR, first aid, swimming, and rescue. So how many, over the course of the summer, we hear of a lot of people that drown here in Kentucky, and a lot of them are young men who think they know how to swim in certain situations and they don't. One thing that we make a great attempt to teach in scouting is how to swim, and most of these guys, when they get to this level, that's when they learn how to swim. Okay? It's very important that they know how to swim, when to go into the water, and when not to. In the process, there's a flow that goes behind that, so you're just not jumping in, and then you can't save yourself or save the other person that you're out there with, right? And then you drown. So, heaven forbid that anything ever happens to the scouts that go through this troop. All right, so then when you earn the rank of first class, you've got to understand navigation, whether it's with a GPS or a map and compass, meal planning, equipment, construction, plants, safety afloat. So how many people do we see that are in boats every year that drown, right? So you have to understand the difference between swimming and paddling and being safe in a motor boat. You have to understand fire and rescue, internet safety. And throughout all of this process, these guys undergo interviews. It's just like a job interview. So imagine going up for your first board review, you're 12 years old, and a bunch of stodgy old guys in a room asking you a bunch of questions. But after you've done it 6 or 7 times, it don't mean anything, right, Zach? It's not that big a deal. All right, so then after you've done that, the first class, the main call is a scout who can take care of himself in about any situation. Now, when you get to star, then you've got to earn 6 merit badges. 4 of them are required. So if we were to look to a merit badge sash, the 4 that are required have a silver outer ring, and then if it's an elected merit badge, then it's a gold or a green color ring. So they have to earn 4 of those required and 2 non-required, and then to earn life, you've got to earn 3 more required, and then 3 more that are not required. And once again, you got to go through that interview process. Now, to get to an Eagle Scout, right now you've got to earn 22 merit badges because they just added another one of those. Or actually, it's 21 merit badges total, I'm sorry, and 12 of them are required now. So you got to earn first aid, you got to earn citizenship in the community, citizenship in the nation, citizenship in the world, communications, environmental science, personal fitness, cooking, camping, family life, personal management, and then emergency preparedness, or life-saving, and you got to understand how to handle yourself when tragedy strikes in those situations. And then the final one is either cycling, hiking, or swimming. And Bradley has earned all of those that are required. So you got to serve. Also, you've got to serve at least 6 months in the troop and leadership position after earning each of those ranks. So we break them down into patrols. There's usually anywhere from 4 to 8 in a patrol, and then there's a patrol leader that really controls how they do things when we go out on expeditions. Jonah here is our senior patrol leader, and the patrol leaders report to him, and then he reports to me, or one of the assistant scoutmasters. And that's how they learn how to be a leader and how to operate their own system. Now, Jonah and Bradley both went to a national youth training program at Camp McKee for an entire week. They were set out into the woods and set up a base camp, and during that entire week, there is no adult leader that comes into their campsite. They manage that themselves, where there are 8 in your patrol, right? 8 in each patrol, and there are 6, 7, 8 patrols that are out there, and then they report back to the headquarters office on a regular basis. And they run that way for a week. Imagine that, at that young of age, right? So that's why Eagle Scouts go into the military, standard military rank, as an E3. Most high school graduates only go in as an E1. If you go into the Army as an Eagle Scout, it's an E3. And I recently spoke with a recruiter. That's $15,000 more than just a high school graduate and a 4-year tour. That's pretty impressive. That's because they've had some of this basic training that you would get in the military already. So also, in order to earn an Eagle Scout rank, you've got to plan and develop and give leadership to a service project for any religious organization, school, or community program. In doing that service project, you are the leader. You're the guy that runs the show. You're supposed to direct and guide and raise money and plan the whole program. And Bradley did that very successfully, I might add, out at Logan Hubble Park by reconstructing the amphitheater. And then you also had to complete a very successful board review that does not include anybody here locally. It includes a group from the district, which is all of central Kentucky. And that group comes in and does the board review. Now just keep this in mind. The average age of an individual that earns the rank of Eagle Scout is 17 years old, and the average length of time it takes is 6 years. Only around 2% of all members of Scouting, which includes Cub Scouting, Marching Scouting, Venturing, and Explorer Scouts, earn the rank of Eagle Scout. And only 7% of just Boy Scouts earn the rank of Eagle Scout. So literally, since Michael Gruen until now, there have been hundreds of scouts that have gone through scouting in Garrett County, whether it's with this troop, another troop, or a Cub Scout pack, that are no longer involved. Hundreds. Okay? That's how big a deal today is. All right, so some other famous Eagle Scouts I just want to mention is Gerald R. Ford, Steven Spielberg, Michael Bloomberg, Neil Armstrong, Robert Gates, and then our own County Attorney Mark Metcalf is an Eagle Scout as well. So just to name a few. So at this point in time, are there any Eagle Scouts in the audience? I know there are, but maybe somebody might surprise me and stand up. So all the Eagle Scouts that earned this rank, once an Eagle, always an Eagle, please stand up. All right, so I'd like to have you guys escort Bradley to the stage. Boy Scouts of the world constitute one of the most wholesome and significant movements in history. And you, Brad Baker, have been counted worthy of the highest rank in this membership. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God and to your country, to your fellow Scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your brother Scouts. If you fail, you bring down the good name of all true and worthy Scouts. Your responsibility goes beyond your fellow Scouts to your country and your God. America has many good things to give you and your children after you. But these good things depend on the qualities she instills in her citizens. You are prepared to help America in all that she needs most. She has a great past, and you are here to make her future even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the high level of service to God and your fellow men, to finest living in this great nation. We have too many who use their strength and intellect to exploit others for selfish gains. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and ability to the common good. Build America on the solid foundations of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God. Whatever others may do, you will leave behind a record of which every Scout may be proud. Brad, now we're going to have you take the Eagle Pledge. All right, so what I'm going to say now is I, and then you would say your name, right? All right. All right. And you repeat after me. Got it? I, Brad Baker, that's what you say. I,
Brad Baker,
on my honor as an Eagle Scout,
on my honor as an Eagle Scout,
promise to work to better scouting in my country,
better scouting in my country,
and to influence all Scouts for greater advancement and participation. Is that too much? And to influence all Scouts
and to influence all Scouts
for greater advancement and participation.
for greater advancement and participation.
I will conduct myself in a manner
I will conduct myself in a manner
fitting and proper
fitting and proper
for one of this high rank.
for one of this high rank.
I will do my best
I will do my best
to give leadership
to give leadership
and service
and service
whenever I can.
whenever I can.
This I promise to do always.
So I promise to do all.
Zach, you'll come in the middle. All right, other Eagles, if you will grab an handkerchief of the Eagle Scout. Troop attention. Troops look.
2.